After watching this video, you would start looking at the construction pictures differently. Let's see what's going on in this picture. The concrete is already dried and they didn't remove the temporary bars holding the dowels yet. Let's see the next one. In this one, they already removed the temporary bars up the step location here and they put them down right here next. Okay, in this one, they already removed most of the temporary bars. I just see a couple here and there. But the most important thing in this picture is we can still see stakes for exterior wall corners. And now what they did is they transferred those lines on top of the concrete using chalk lines. A chalk line is a tool with chalk dust in it. And you basically stretch the string inside on top of the concrete and snap it. This way the chalk on the string is transferred to the top of the concrete. So they put chalk lines on top of the concrete for the exterior face of walls only, not for the interior face of the walls. Also, you can see these cross lines for the door locations. They marked exact the location here, then spray on top to not lose it. And they write down door with spray paint. The door is located 15 feet above the footing, but they still put it down on the footing because if there's any change on the rebar, they want to see what's going on at the door location and they want to know where the location of the door is. Also, they extend the spray paint towards the inside because after putting the exterior formwork, they're not going to be able to see the marks outside. Alright, next picture here, still getting prepared. All chalk lines are in place and ready to set the rebar and exterior formwork. And before we go to the next picture, let's take a look at the structural details so we can understand better. Okay, here we have number 5 12-inch on center vertical each face and number 5 15-inch on center horizontal each face rebar. And we need to always pay attention location of the horizontal bars. On this wall they are inside because it's a foundation wall, but when you work with the shear walls, horizontal bars goes outside. And in the process of the installation on this one, for the foundation wall, it will be like this. First they will install the exterior verticals, then exterior horizontals, then interior verticals because interior horizontals need something to hold. That's why they have to put the interior verticals, then the horizontals next. Then, like I said, interior horizontals. And horizontal bars has to be done at the two faces because they have to put wall is too high. First they will install up to wherever they can reach, probably about 7 feet above the ground. So if rebar is 12-inch on center, first 7 bars they have to put from the ground up. Then at the second phase they have to climb up and then install. So if this is a wall, they install almost halfway 7 foot from the ground up, then they climb up and then install from 7 foot and up. You'll understand better in the picture. Let's take a look at the picture. Okay, I'm glad I took this picture. This one is showing us almost whole process of rebar installation. These loose vertical bars are set first. They set the exterior verticals first and tie them to the dowels all around. That's the first step. They put all the horizontal bars, interior and exterior horizontal bars on top of the footing. Approximately 14 horizontal bars, 7 for interior, 7 for exterior. Let's look at this guy. He is installing the last bar he can reach for exterior horizontal rebar. He extended his arms, so that has to be 6th or 7th bar. Because if one guy is 6 feet tall, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So that's why they stack horizontal bars on top of the footing in between exterior and interior dowels for easy access. He just bends down, grabs one and installs. Now he just installed exterior bars only, then he will install interior verticals. Those are the ones goes all the way up without the hook. Once they complete the interior horizontal bars up to their ridge, you see they stack the rest of the horizontal bars hanging on the wall, elevated, just like you see here and here as well. Just put them on a couple pieces of rebars because they have to climb up to install those verticals. For easy access, they stack them elevated because they will have to they need to be tied to harness for full safety, so they can't go down it. While rebar installers working on installation of the rebar, carpenters are installing the exterior face of the formwork. Rebar should be freestanding without having formwork. Formwork doesn't support the rebar, and rebar doesn't support the formwork. They both has to be freestanding. Also very important, you need to overlap the work. Labor work, carpenter. While carpenter is preparing their formwork, rebar installers install like 20-30 feet depending on the crew size. Then carpenters follow them behind by installing the formwork. So you don't send carpenters home until rebar installation. Everybody has to keep working at the same time. Alright, let's see the next picture. On this one you can see they already completed the exterior formwork. They braze them and they put walking platforms with guardrails for safety. And so this they can walk at the top of the wall without their safety equipment. These braces are not to support the wall horizontally. They have turnbuckles at the top of each one, and by turning them, it's like a formwork here. By turning those turnbuckles, you push or you pull forward, and that's how you try. They try to make the formwork plumb straight. And as you can see on the other side of the wall, they didn't set the interface of formwork. Let's go on to the next one. On this one, you can see they already finished the rebar and they are setting interior formwork. Also, you can see all reinforcing around the mechanical sleeves in place. These sleeves in the picture are opening. They're not closed yet. And they need to be flush with the interior face of the interior formwork. They will close all the sleeves with the duct tape and make sure concrete is not leaking inside. And let's go to the next. Now they are pouring the wall with concrete pump. You can't drop the concrete that high elevation. You need to lower the pump hose inside the wall to eliminate the gravel segregation due to height. What that means is if you pour concrete from higher than 5 feet, if you pour concrete too high, that gravel and the concrete mix will separate it. So you don't want that to happen. You want consistent mix. So you gotta lower your hose inside the wall to 5 to 7 foot high, and you pour like this, and you go 5 foot at a time. If you pour concrete from higher than 5 feet, concrete and gravel mix get separated, and we want consistent mix, and they have to pour from 5 to 7 foot high at a time. You don't feel the wet concrete all the way to the top of the formwork. When you feel concrete all the way up to the top of the formwork, it will blow out. So you gotta feel like a 5 feet. You go around, you come back. When the time you come back, it sets a little bit. So you can go another round, or you gotta wait a little further to let it set a little bit. If your wall is not too long enough to get the setting time, you gotta wait to get the plasticity of the concrete, but you don't let it dry. You pour up to 5 feet and go around the wall 5 feet high, then come back again. By that time, the concrete sets where you started, and you pour another 5 feet on top. This way, you don't get too much wet concrete pressure, because 5 foot poured section will be still plastic, but not fully wet anymore. But if your wall is too short, you pour 5 feet, you wait until you get your concrete is still plastic, but not dry, and you do another 5 feet, and you wait. So this way, you don't get too much wet concrete pressure on your formwork, so it doesn't blow up. You can't delay too much this process, because when you get cold joints, concrete is not gonna bond to the previous pour. In this picture, they are pouring the last third round of the pour, and the guy on the left is finishing the top of the wall with his trowel. In this job, we use Siemens formwork, and this is a formwork plan. Maximum allowed pressure in this formwork is 1000 psi, and allowed maximum wet height is 7 foot. So you can't pour your concrete more than 7 foot high. We were doing 5 foot at a time, so we were safe. We weren't max out our pour pressure limit. Worst thing you want to happen is the blown out formwork at this job site. That is a disaster. Take a look at this picture. They were using plywood formwork, And you can see how this formwork blow out here, and all the concrete is on the ground. This concrete on the ground has to be cleaned, walls need to be reset, or everything has to be done from scratch. I just wanted to show you what can go wrong if you don't pay attention to the connections of your phone. Connections are the most important part of your phone. Connections elements are the snap ties and pins. And let's go back to this picture again. In this formwork plan, between exterior wall and interior wall formwork, there are these lines. These are called snap ties. And these snap ties hold concrete pressure inside the form. Snap ties could be round or flat, just like in this picture. They are the most important part of the formwork system. And here you can see all the final product of the castle place concrete wall. Pink styrofoam was used to create the shelf at the top of the wall. They needed to be stripped. You can see on the right side they removed some already, and that's how the shelf will be created. Also, you can see snap ties sticking out. They need to be broken out as well. Thanks for watching.